At the end of this week's Torah portion, which is called Parshat Vayeira, we read about the binding of Isaac. God calls out to Abraham, and Abraham responds with this term, Hineni, I'm here. What do you want from me, God? And God says, take your son, your only son, the one you love, and bring him to the land of Moriah, to the mountain that I will show you, and bring him as an offering. And Abraham gets up early the next morning, he saddles his donkey, and he takes his two sons, Isaac and Ishmael, and they travel towards the place that God is to show him, where he is to sacrifice Isaac. And it says in the Torah that Abraham sees the place from afar. And our commentators examine that phrase, the place from afar, and say that there was a sense that God was afar from him, far away from him, that God wasn't close, that as much as Abraham heard the calling and he's going towards this to do the action that God had told him to do, that he felt that he was in a darkness. He didn't feel the presence of God with him, and he looks over and he sees the place from afar. He's seeing God over there, but not close with him. But yet he keeps going, he keeps traveling, he keeps faithful to the mission that God has put him on. He comes to the place and he binds his son Isaac, and he's about to sacrifice his son, and an angel comes and tells him, stop, don't do it. He doesn't do it. But that place where Abraham almost sacrificed Isaac is Mount Moriah. It's the place where in the future the Holy Temple will be built. It's the place where heaven and earth kiss, where there's the closest relationship between the world and godliness and the divine. So when Abraham is coming from a dark place towards this light-filled place, and he sees it from afar, perhaps that's a visual for us to feel like we can relate to that. That's very often we may feel like we're in the dark and that we don't quite know that God is with us, even though God is with us. We don't feel it. And we may look and see, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do, or that's what I have to give up, or those are the sacrifices I have to make, or these are the tests that I have to overcome. And I yearn to have a relationship with God. I yearn to come close to God, but how do I get there? So some of our commentators suggest that one way to come into relationship with God is through prayer, through opening up our hearts and opening up our mouths in prayer. 3 times a day, we are enjoined to pray. And the end of each prayer service culminates in the silent Amida, the silent Shemona Esrei, this prayer that we say at the end. And to begin the prayer, before we start praying, we take 3 steps back. We're physically stepping out, and then we physically take 3 steps forward. We move into that relationship. So that is a model for what we see Abraham doing, that he's in a dark, he doesn't feel God. He moves towards the place, he feels God, he feels connected. So too, when we pray, may we feel close to God. May we feel that God is with us. May we feel that we are surrounded by light and that we have God on our side, protecting us and taking care of us always.